I am curious, why is it that sites like Twitter and Facebook are as open to so many points, so much circulating from many different points of view, or is that deceptive, or is it just as simple as, they want to generate discussion, so they don't care what people are talking about. In other words, why is it so wide open, especially on Twitter?
There are two answers to that. As I've said on our last show, that there's not one Facebook. There's 1.5 billion Facebooks. Mm-hmm. And being open to a bunch of different ideas and having a bunch of different links coming from a bunch of different points of view allows that to happen. Secondly, Facebook, one of the reasons why this whole fake news thing got crazy is because Facebook got in trouble earlier this year. I don't know if you recall the story about Facebook. Facebook over the last few years hired a ton of journalists to curate news on the platform. "Quote
unquote curate." It's kind of a dangerous word there.
And it came out that many of them were pretty liberal, and that Republican news was not trending on the news platform on Facebook as often as it should. Actually, documentation leaked out about it, that they knew what was going on. And then they fired en masse a lot of those journalists. So
because Zuckerberg can't fire himself.
No, and why would he? He's going to profit either way.
Right.
So, like there have been efforts made to put a clamp on what's circulated and what's not, but it benefits them to be a platform where I can feel like I can create my own world of news and content, and the Trump voter in suburban Rochester or deep exurbs of Rochester can do the same thing. Because if you're Mark Zuckerberg, it doesn't really matter where the money comes from.
Right. You just want people on your
it's
platform.
Not because it's not like network news or cable news. Cable news, audience matters. And right now, in terms of media and platforms as big as Facebook, you're getting a lot of everybody.
Right.
So if you get a lot of everybody, you can advertise to everybody.
Right. You want the Borg, basically.
And you can customize the advertisements to the data that they have on each customer. So your ads on your Facebook are different than my ads.
Right. Which means more advertisers.
Yes.
Yeah.
So of course you want as many people to post as much stuff.
Yeah, quote unquote info diversity. Yeah,
yes.
You want it all. You want everything from extraterrestrial conspiracy type stuff, all like you want the whole ecosystem of ideas, no matter how out there, no matter how, and then at the same time sort of pay lip service to, well, we don't condone hate speech and stuff like that. But I mean, I think there are ways around that.
And I think Twitter's in a different place, is that they haven't figured out the monetization or the platform as well as Facebook has. That's one reason why they're in trouble financially. So that's more of a pure free-for-all, because you don't really need permission to follow someone. Some people have locked their accounts, but those people are very small apart. You don't in the world of Facebook, for the most part, you need consent to follow another person. In Twitter world, you really don't.
Right.
So it's more of a free-for-all, more of random information. And it's also hard to tell a friend from a brand from a website on Twitter. It's a very blurry situation.
Yeah, it's not even really, that's funny that you use the term friend, because I don't even consider someone on Twitter a friend. It's more just like a source of content. Like you said, we're all content creators. And it's not really It's most certainly a different type of interaction for sure. Be sure to follow Double Booked on SoundCloud and Twitter, subscribe to our iTunes and YouTube channels, and like us on Facebook. You can also reach us via our email address, doublebookedshow@gmail.com. We welcome correspondence on any of those platforms, some of which we will read and respond to on the show.